Good morning, everyone. Welcome everyone to the class on operation research, where we'll discuss today a very important topic called Bingham method or penalty method. So when we talk about Bingham method or penalty method, the reason why this method came in picture because when we see the inequality signs of the constraint, and in case if the inequality sign of the constraint, if that is more than or equal to, then in all such problems are being solved through Bingham method. Now, before I get into detail about why we call this Bingham method and all, so just forget that part. We'll come back to that. For the time being, now next thing you remember, guys, Bingham method is nothing but it is an alternate approach of solving the LPP problem by using simplex method when you have greater than or equal to sign in the case of constraint. Now, how we do, we learn that. Before that, guys, very important thing, always remember, yesterday also I told you that when you see the objective function, whenever you are seeing the objective function of the LPP problem, and if you are trying to solve it by using simplex method, you need to make sure your objective function should be in the form of maxima. Okay, in case if you are seeing a problem where objective function is in minima, so you have to convert this minima into maxima. Okay, so please remember, whenever you are seeing an objective function here, your objective function should always be in the form of maxima. Here you have minima. So minima of z, that is your objective function. That is equal to 3x1 plus 4x2. So what you need to do, guys, you have to convert this minima objective function into maxima function. How will you convert? By changing its sign. So by changing its sign, you can convert this minima to maxima. So in order to solve the LPP problem by simplex method, your objective function should be in the form of maxima. In case if you're seeing your objective function with some other variable, make sure you convert that into maxima form. Okay, guys, please remember, please do not forget this part. Next thing, if you observe here, first let me write down the constraint. If you observe here, you have two constraints with greater than or this is 2x1 plus 3x2. This is greater than or equal to 8. So this is 2x1 plus 3x2 greater than or equal to 8. So guys, how will I make it equal? So if I introduce a slack variable, that slack variable will be negative slack variable, so that become equal to 8. Here the next equation, if I write, this is 5x1 plus 2x2. Here I'll write minus s2 is equal to 12. Why you are introducing negative slack variable, sir? Why you are not introducing positive slack variable, sir? Earlier cases when the sign was less than or equal to, sir, 2x1 plus 3x2, if that would have been less than or equal to 8, how used to do, sir? Used to write 2x1 plus 3x2 plus s1 is equal to 8. I hope you remember. So earlier case, if you understand in earlier cases, if you are understanding in earlier cases, this 2x1 plus 3x2 was either equal to 8 or either less than 8. If it was equal to 8, then dummy variable s1 was equal to 0. While if 2s1 plus 3s2 was less than 8, then how much less than 8? That was s1. Now in this case, you have greater than or equal to, guys. In case if this value is greater than or equal to, if I say that 2x1 plus 3x2 is either greater than 8 or either equal to 8. So then in that case, 2x1 plus 3x2, what will happen, guys? What this mean, guys? 2x1 plus 3x2, if that is greater than equal to 8, what this mean, guys? This mean that 2x1 plus 3x2 is either equal to 8 or 2x1 plus 3x2 is greater than 8. So two things can happen. So here two things can happen, that 2x1 that 2x1 plus 3x2, okay, that is either equal to 8 or either it is greater than 8. So in case if 2x1 plus 3x2, if that is equal to 8, then your dummy variable will be equal to 0. Okay, that same logic. But if 2x1 plus 3x2, if that is greater than 8, then your dummy variable, your dummy variable will be 2x1 plus 3x2 if that is more than 8. So how much more than 8, that would be your dummy variable. So guys, I hope you are understanding here. I hope you are understanding here. You're getting the logic, what I want you to understand. Okay, so here if you see this, whenever you have greater than equal to sign, guys, if you have greater than or equal to sign, so I'll write 2x1 plus 3x2 minus s1 is equal to 8, and then 5x1 plus 2x2 minus s2 is equal to minus s2 equal to 12. I hope you guys, you're understanding. And then your x1, your x2, that would be greater than equal to 0. So you can write your objective function as maxima of z is equal to minus 3x1 minus 4x2, then plus 0 s1 plus 0 s2. Okay, and then what you can do, you can solve this problem. Okay, I hope you're understanding. Then once you write them in this form, then what you can do, you can start working on the iteration table. Okay, you working on the iteration table, and then you can solve this problem. Okay, so what you will do, you can just draw the iteration table. This is x1, this is x2, this is s1, this is s2. You know how to do. This is s1, this is s2, this is negative s1, this is negative s1, negative s2, or if you write s1 s2 also with minus one sign here, minus you can write minus one here, minus one here, minus one here. This is minus 3x1 minus 4x2. Objective function 0 s1, 0 s2. This is 2 3 minus 1 0, and then 5 2 5 2 0 minus 1. Okay, so you can write like this. Okay, and then this is ci, and then you can find zi, and then you can solve it. Okay, so this is the way how we do. Correct, no? I hope you people understand. This is the way. If you have gone through all the previous sessions, what I've done, this is the way how we solve it. Okay, but guys, there's a problem here. What is the problem, sir? So the problem is that, guys, if you have negative slack variable, if you have negative slack variable, they cannot be the part of iteration table. Negative slack variable cannot be the part of iteration table. That is the problem, guys. Here the problem here is that whenever you have a negative slack variable, if you start solving them, if you put them in the iteration table, you will not get basic feasible solution. Then will not get basic feasible solution. Then will not get basic feasible solution. So negative slack variable, they cannot be the part of iteration table. So we cannot start solving the problem with negative slack variable. That is the problem. They cannot give us the basic feasible solution. So you cannot solve it like this. This equation, what you got, this equation, what you got, you cannot solve it. This equation, what you get, you cannot solve it by the simplex method. You can, here two variables are there. So you can try by graphical method. So I hope you remember graphical method and all. If you remember, you remember we used to draw the graph and two lines and all, whatever you used to get. We here this is greater than equal to, so out of all maxima value is to find the minimal value. That way you can do to get the answer. Two variables are there, you may will get the answer. But here the thing is that, guys, here if you are trying to solve it by simplex method, so you cannot solve it with the negative slack variable, guys. So please understand, whenever you have this scenario, no, whenever you have this scenario where you cannot solve the problem with the negative slack variable, but you need to find the solution, right? To find the solution, no, what we do to find the solution, what we do basically here, wherever you have negative slack variable, wherever you have having negative variable, will introduce an additional variable which is called artificial variable. So wherever you have negative slack variable, we introduce artificial variable. We introduce this artificial variable. Okay, we'll introduce this artificial variable let A1 and A2, let A1 and A2 to initiate the iteration table, to initiate the iteration table calculation, to initiate the iteration table calculation. What I'll do, because I cannot use negative slack variable to solve this kind of problem. So in order to solve this kind of problem, then I left with only one option, that I have to start introducing another variable. I call that variable as an artificial variable, so that this can help me to get the answer for the problem. But you will say, sir, what is happening, sir? First of all, you introduced one dummy variables which you called as a slack variables. Now you're introducing another dummy variables which you are telling as the artificial variable. Now, how will you make sure this artificial variable again does not affect the part of the solution? So these slack variables, what you had S1, S2, S3, whatever, so they had the coefficient 0. So we made sure that they do not affect the solution. Now you are introducing another set of new variables called artificial variables. So how will you make sure that they will not impact the part of your solution? How will you make sure, sir? So to make sure that they do not impact, to make sure that they do not impact the part of your assessment, what you are doing, what we do, we assign in coefficient called minus m to this artificial variable. So what we do, assigning coefficients. So assigning coefficient, we assigning coefficient minus m to the artificial variable. So I'm assigning a coefficient called minus m to the artificial variable, I'm assigning this coefficient called minus m to the artificial variable. Okay, what is the reason why minus m, sir? What is minus m, first of all? So why you introduce this value minus m to the artificial variable? So understand what is m. First, let understand what is m. Where what is m? Where m is very large number. Where m is very large number. Where m is very large number, close to infinity. Where m is very large number, close to infinity. It's not infinity, but it's very close to infinity. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm assigning an coefficient minus m to this artificial variable where your m is very large number, next to infinity. Okay. That much value you are putting. So you are not putting that much value, you are putting minus m. So what is m I'm defining? So m is very large number, close to infinity. Okay. So that much value you're putting to this artificial variable, but in reality, you're not putting that much value, sir. You're putting minus m, sir. So if m is very large number, close to infinity, sir, then minus m will be very small number, very small number. M minus m would be very small number, close to zero. Okay, close to zero, limit to zero, but it's not zero. So the reason, what is the reason? Reason is that why you put minus m, so that it should not impact your solution. They are simply there. They're simply there, like when we do transportation problems and all. So when we work on optimality, MODI method, modified distribution method, there I'll teach you the test of degeneracy. I'll teach you the concept of epsilon and all. So certain in mathematical calculations, you introduce these kind of dummy variables just to run the part of the iteration table. And at the same time, you have to make sure that they should not impact your solution. Okay. That is a very important thing. No, they should not impact your solution. But if they start impacting the solution, then there's a problem. So here, what you need to make sure, you need to make sure that that they should not impact the part of your solution, guys. That you need to make sure that ultimately whenever we are solving them, they should not impact the part of my solution. Okay, so that is the most important thing what we have to do. Okay, so here, when we are solving the problem, you got the logic how to work on. You got the logic m minus m, all that. So you are getting the logic of m minus m. Okay, you got the logic why we are introducing that. Now, how to work on their calculation part? If I talk about their calculation part, if I see their calculation part, so if I see their calculation part, if I see their calculation part, guys, so here you can write maximum of z is equal to minus 3x1 minus 4x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. Then how will you write objective function? Minus ma1 minus ma2. You introduce two artificial variable. So and then in non-negativity restriction you will write where, in non-negativity restriction you will write where 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 non-negative restriction where x1, okay, x2, s1, S2, A1, A2, that should be greater than or equal to. So this would be the, now this would be a standard form of solving the problem by using big M method. So this would be the standard form of solving the problem by big M method. Okay, where x1, x2, s1, s2, and a1, a2, that should be greater than or equal to 0. I hope guys, you people understand. I know this would be a little bit difficult to understand. Initially these topics are not very easy topic. Now what I'll do, once I've introduced them and I'll solve them, I'll construct the iteration table one. So iteration table one, so one by one, 1 2 3 4, like that you can write and start solving them. So I may not be able to write further on, so you can understand that part, because once you start solving you will not realize x1 x2, then you have s1 s2, then a1, and then a2. You have these many variables. Okay, x1, coefficient of x1 is x1 minus 3 minus 4 minus 3 minus 3 minus 4, then 0 s1 0 s2. 0 have no sign, positive negative, so please don't get confused here by seeing the plus sign with 0. You can put any sign, doesn't matter. This is minus ma1 minus ma2, and here a1 and a2. So to solve the problem, you cannot start with negative slack variable. That's why we introduced this artificial variable called a1 and a2. Okay, so writing the coefficients, that is 2 3 minus 1, this is 2 3 minus 1 0, then 1 0, then next one is 5 2 5 2 5 2 0 minus 1 0 1. Okay, and then you write your RHS, you write your theta. So your RHS is, what is your RHS, guys? This is not 0 0. I wrote here 0 0. Here this, your RHS is 8, and this is equal to 2. So your RHS is 8 and 2. Okay, your RHS is 8 and 2. So iteration table 1 I'll construct. Okay guys, so first I'll find the Zi value. What is Zi value? So minus 2 minus m into 2 plus minus m into 5 will get minus 7m. Okay, then minus 3m minus 2m minus 5m. Then minus, this would be m, minus 1 into minus m. So this becomes 0, minus m into 0 0, minus m into minus 1 is m. Okay, then minus m into 1, minus m into 1, m minus m into 1, minus m, this is minus m, then this is 0, this is minus m. So to get Zi value, then you find Ci minus Zi. Ci minus Zi, these are your Ci values. So minus 3 minus 7m, this would be 7m minus 3. This would be minus 4 minus 3m. So this would be 4m minus 4, 5m minus 4. Okay, this is minus m, this is minus m, this is 0 minus m plus m. This becomes 0, this becomes 0. So guys, what is m? M is very large value. So 7m minus 3 and 5m minus 4, which is bigger value? Now the question comes that m is very large value, and you know that 7 minus 3 or 5m minus 4. Question comes, which is the large value, which is more bigger value. Imagine I cannot put here infinity here. Imagine guys, if I would have said infinity, 7 infinity minus 3 or 5 infinity minus 4, which is bigger value? So they would be same only, because infinity is infinity. Any product of infinity will be infinity only, no? So there we cannot decide which is a bigger value. So guys, please understand that m is very large value. M is very large value, which is close to infinity, but it's not infinity. So out of these two value, guys, out of these two value, which is bigger value? So here, this value doesn't matter. Here, this value doesn't matter, because when I'm talking about 7m, so that value is very big, very, very, very big value. So 3 subtract, if you subtract 3 from that much big value, it will not make any sense. So it will not impact anything. From that 5m, if you subtract 4, it will not make any impact. So here minus 3 minus 4 will not make much impact. What matters here is the coefficient which is attached to m. So with that we'll decide. Okay, so with this, which is bigger value, 7m minus 3 will be bigger than 5m minus 4. I hope you got the logic. So here you can say that 7m minus 3 is bigger than 5m minus 4. So that it means x1 will enter into the solution. If x1 will enter into the solution, then x1 will replace whom? Then x1 will replace whom? For that we'll find theta. So theta for this would be 8 divided by 2, 4, and 12 divided by 5, that would be 2.4. Which is lower value, guys? Out of 4 and 2.4, which is lower value? 2.4. So means it means what? It means A2 will exit the solution. It means A2 will exit the solution. If A2 will exit the solution, then this would be your constant. 5 would be your constant. A constant is K for you. 5 is the constant for you. I hope you understood this. 5 is the constant, which is called a pivot element for you. So it means x1 will enter the solution. It means x1 will enter the solution. Now iteration table 2. Now iteration table 2. This was iteration table 1. Now I'm doing iteration table 2. So here minus m a1, and in place of in place of a2, what will come? X1 will come, where the coefficient of x1 is what? Minus 3, and the pivot element was 5. So 5 divided by 5, 1, 2 divided by 5, 2 by 5, 0 divided by 5, 0, minus 1 divided by 5, minus 1 by 5, 0 divided by 5, 0, 1 divided by 5, 1 by 5, 12 divided by 5, 12 by 5. I hope you understood. I got all these values of x1. Then I'll find the value of a1. So how will I find the value of a1, guys? How will I find the value of a1, guys? New values of a1. So for that I use the same formula. No, you remember old element minus constant into new element. Same thing. That is the way how we used to do simplex method. No, same way only thing here is that you introduced some dummy variable. You introduced here some dummy variables. Uh, you had additional set of dummy variables, which we called as artificial variables and all. Otherwise, things are not at all complicated. If you can understand, if you can bear with me, you can understand they are not at all complicated. So if I write the old element of A1, write the old element values of A1. So those are actually 2, then 3, then minus 1, then 0, 2, 3, minus 1, 0, then 1, 0, 8. And what is the new element? New element of x1. So the new values of x1, what you're getting is 1, then 2 by 5, then 0, then minus 1 by 5, then 0, then 1 by 5, and then 12 by 5. So this was your old element, guys. So old element. So your old element. This is your old element, guys. This is your old element. And what is your new element, guys? Your new element values. These are your new element values. These are your new element values. Fine, everyone. So I hope you are understanding. So now the comes the question: what is the constant here? What is the key one? So what is the constant here? So your constant here is 2. So your constant here is 2, guys. So 2 is your constant. Okay, now the question comes. I'll use the formula old element minus constant into new element. So 2 minus 1 into 2 is 0. So 3 minus 2 into 2 by 5. This is 3 minus 4 by 5, 11 by 5. Then this is minus 1 because 0, 0. So this is minus minus plus now. Minus minus plus, so this would be 2 by 5. This would be 1. This would be minus 2 by 5. Okay, this would be 8 minus 2 12 by 5. Okay, so this would be 40 minus 24 by 5. This is 16 by 5. So you get the value 0, 11 by 5 minus 1, 2 by 5, 1 minus 2 by 5, 16 by 5. So this is 0, 11 by 5, this is 0, 11 by 5, this is 0, then 11 by 5, then this is minus 1, then 2 by 5, then this is 1, then minus 2 by 5, and then this is 16 by 5. Okay, so these values you will get. Okay, now once I get these values, then what I'll do, guys, for the table 2, iteration table 2, what I created, I'll find the zi value. Zi value, how will I find? Minus m into 0, that is 0, and minus 3 into 1, minus 3. Then minus m into 11 by 5, that is minus 11m by 5, and minus 6 by 5. Okay, so 1 minute, huh, everyone. So guys, if you see this, if you multiply this minus m into 11 by 5, so that is minus 11 by 5, and this is minus 3 into 2 by 5, that is minus 6 by 5. So how much you get? Minus 11m minus 6 by 5. So you will get this. So minus 11m minus 6 by 5. This is m only. Then this is minus 2m. This is minus 2m by 5. Okay, minus 2m by 5, minus minus plus. This is 3 by 5. So this is minus 2m plus 3 by 5. This is minus 2m plus 3 by 5. Then this is minus m. This is minus m. This is 2m by 5. This is 2m by 5. Okay, and this is minus 3 by 5. So 2m minus 3 by 5. This is 2m minus 3 by 5. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Then you will find Ci minus Zi. Then you will find Ci minus Zi. So Ci minus Zi, Ci minus Zi, you need Ci value minus 3 plus 0. Then this is minus 4. Okay, this is minus 4. This is minus 4. Then minus. Okay, so minus minus plus, no, minus 4 minus 11m minus 6 by 5. I hope you understand me. So this is minus 4 plus 11m plus 6 by 5. So this is minus 20. 1 minute. This is minus 20. This is minus 20 plus 11m plus 6 by 5. So this would be 11m minus 14 by 5. Okay, guys. I hope you understand it. Then S1, no? Then it will be S1. 0 minus m. Then that would be again 0. So minus 0 minus this. So it would be 2m minus 3 by 5. Then this would be minus m plus m. This would be 0. Then this would not so much relevant, but I'm doing minus m minus of 2m minus 3 by 5. This would be minus 5m minus 2m plus 3 by 5. This is minus 7m plus 3 by 5. Minus 7m plus 3 by 5 minus 7m minus 7m. So this is minus 7m plus 3 by 5. So you need to do this. So now you got all the ci minus zi value. So which is the largest, guys? Which one is the largest? If you notice, uh, so if guys, if you understand, so the positive m value you're getting here and you're getting here. Okay, so now which is bigger, guys? 2 by 5 is bigger or 11 by 5 is bigger? So everyone can tell me the answer, which one is bigger. So 11 by 5 is bigger. So you'll consider this, right? I told you before also. So which means this means what? I think this corresponds to x2. So it means now x2 will enter into the solution. Now before x2 will enter into the solution, whom x2 is replacing, to decide that, how will I decide? 16 by 5 by 11. So you'll get 16 by 11. So this is 1 5 by 11. 1 5 by 11 means what? 5 by 11. 5 by 11 in percentage is 9 5s are 45. So 1.4545. This would be the value. And then this would be 6. So which is the smallest one, guys? So anyone can tell me which is the smallest. This is the smallest. So means x2 will enter into the solution and x2 will replace whom? X2 will replace a1. So you can understand this. X2 will enter into the solution and x2 will replace whom? X2 will replace a1. So you can understand. Now, guys, I'll do iteration table 3. Okay, so I'm not writing it. So I hope you are understanding all this. So now I'll do the calculation of iteration table 3. Now I'll do the calculation of iteration table 3. Okay, so in iteration table 3 calculation, what I'm doing. So in place of a1, I'll write x2, and the coefficient of x2 is minus 4. And then I have x1 having the coefficient called minus 3. And the pivot element here is, what is the pivot element, guys? Your pivot element is 11 by 5. That is your pivot element. Okay, so divide all the number by 11 by 5. So 0 divided by 11 by 5 is 0. 11 by 5 divided by 11 by 5 is 1. Minus 1 divided by 11 by 5 will be minus 5 by 11. 2 by 5 divided by 2 by 5 divided by 11 by 5. That would be 2 by 11. Okay, then 1 divided by 11 by 5. That would be 5 by 11. Then minus 2 by 5 divided by 11 by 5, that would be minus 2 by 11. Okay, then 16 by 5, 16 by 5 divided by 11 by 5. Then 16 by 5 divided by 11 by 5, that would be 16 by 11. So that would be 16 by 11. Okay, you understood this, right? Similarly, I'll find the value of x1, where the constant, what I will use the corresponding value. So this would be my constant, okay, for x1, because I need to make sure that the corresponding value of this next, that should be equal to 0. This should be equal to 0. So how will I do that? So for that, again, the same formula. Okay, I'll use the same formula. Do that. For that, I'll use the same formula. What is the old element? Old element of x1, old element, that is 1 2 by 5, 1 2 by 5, then 0, then minus 1 by 5, then 0, then 1 by 5, 12 by 5, then 12 by 5. Then new values is 0, 1. New element values are 0, 1. New element values are 0, 1, 0, 1 minus 5 by 11, 0, 1 minus 5 by 11, then 2 by 11, then 5 by 11, then minus 2 by 11, then 16 by 0, 1, 0, 1 minus 5 by 11, 2 by 11, 5 by 11, minus 2 by 11, 16 by 11. So, and the constant what we use here is 2 by 5. The constant what I use here is 2 by 5. So, old element minus 2 by 5 of new element. This is 1, na? This is 1, 1 minus 2 by 5 minus this would be 0. And this would be 2 by 5 into 5 by 11. So, this would be 2 by 11. This would be 2 by 11. Then this is minus 1 by 5. Next one is 1 by 5. Next one is minus 1 by 5 minus 1 by 5. Then minus sign minus 2 by 11 into 2 by 5. Minus 1 by 5 minus 4 by 55. Then if we solve, take LCM 55 minus 15 minus 15 by 55 minus 3 by 11. This is minus 3 by 11. Minus 3 by 11. Then next one is minus 2 by 5 into 5 by 11. So this would be minus, this sorry, 1 minute. So 0 minus 5 by 11 into 2 by 5. So 5 by 11 into 2 by 5. 5 get cancelled. So then I think it would be minus 2 by 11. Then this would be minus 2 by 11. Then next one is 1 by 5 and 1 by 5. 1 by 5 minus 1 by 5. This is 1 by 5. This is 1 by 5. And then you have minus sign. So minus sign is plus, it will become plus. So this is 2. This is minus 1 by 5. This is 1 by 5, not minus. So 1 by 5. So remove it. 1 by 5. Then this is 1 by 5. Then this is 4 by 11. So if you do this, you get LCM 55 by 11. 15 by 55 means 3 by 11. 3 by 11. So 3 by 11. Then this is 3 by 11. Then this is 12 by 5. Then 12 by 12 by 12 by 5 minus 2 by 5 into 16 by 11. 16 by 11. So this is 12 by 5 minus 32 by 55. 55 LCM. 11, 132. This is 100. So this is 20 by 11. This will be 20 by 11. This is 20 by 11. Okay, everyone. Clear, right? You write this value. 1, you write down this value. So you write down this value. You write down this value. This is 1, 0, then 2 by 11, then minus 3 by 11, then minus 2 by 11, then 3 by 11, and then this value is 20 by 11. Okay. Once you've done this, now find Zi value. So Zi value is minus 3, minus 4. Okay, so this is 20. 20 minus 6. 20 minus 6 होता है 14, right? 14 by 11. 20 minus 6, 14. This is minus 8 plus 9. So 1 by 11. This is minus 20 plus 6 minus 14 by 11. This is 8 minus 9 minus 1 by 11. So you get all these values. You get all these values. Once you get all these values, now find Ci minus Zi, guys. Find Ci minus Zi. Find Ci minus Zi. The coefficient is, I hope you remember, minus 3 minus 4 0 0 minus and minus 3 minus 3 minus minus 3 0 minus 4 minus minus 4 0 0 minus 14 by 11 minus 14 by 11 0 minus 1 by 11 minus 1 by 11 uh, minus m plus 14 by 11. So minus m plus 14 by 11. It doesn't make any sense because minus m is very very small value. So minus m never make any sense. Minus m plus 1 by 11. So if you understand here, guys, all the values what you get are very small values, guys. They're very very small values, guys. So so it's like Ci minus Zi is either 0 or either negative. So means now you get the feasible solution, guys. So what is a feasible solution, guys? If you understand your feasible solution, that x1 answer is 20 by 11, x2 answer is 16 by 11. If you find the Zi value, this would be 16 into 4, 64, minus 64 minus 16. So minus 124 by 11. So minus 124 by 11. So if you understand, your final answer is if x1 is equal to 20 by 11, okay, x2 is equal to 16 by 11, and maxima of z equal to minus 24 by 11. But in reality, they asked the minima of z. So minima of z would be 124 by 11. So this is your final solution. This is your final solution, guys. This is the how we need to solve this question step by step. Clear? Anyone have any doubt? So this was your problem. So for this problem, your answer for this is x1 is equal to 20 by 11, x2 is equal to 16 by 11, and your z value, minima of z value, that is equal to 124 by 11. Clear, guys? So anyone, any doubt, any question? Anyone, any doubt, any question? Okay, everyone. So it's time to say goodbye to all of you. I'll see you all tomorrow. I hope you understood our session on Big M method. So this was very important topic for your exam perspective. So you get one problem on Big M method. If you get, then solving it will be very big task. So watch this video again in case of any doubt. And please contact me if you have any concern, anything you want to ask. Feel free to ask your doubts. Okay, everyone. So I'll wind up the class. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.